Hi everyone, this is Sonia, and I have 3 exercises that you can do during your work day to break up the day, give you a little bit more energy, get your blood flowing. They're easy to do, they are low intensity, you don't need any equipment or a lot of space. So let's go ahead and learn them now. Alright folks, the first thing we're going to do together are wall sits. Yes, sits, that's plural, because we're doing more than one, right? So we're going to set up about a foot in front of the wall, right? Everyone has a wall, so this should be easy for you. So go ahead, find your wall, check your footing, make sure you have at least a foot between you and the wall. Now we're going to, before we do anything, we're going to make sure that our feet are lined up with our hips, okay? And I want you to lift your toes up and kind of shift forward and back a little bit. We want to make sure that our weight is evenly distributed in within our entire foot, right? So we don't want to be keeping all the weight in our heels or all the weight in the front of our foot. So once you feel you have even distribution between the ball of your foot and the heel, go ahead and place your little toes down. Then we'll reach back to feel the wall and help guide us to lean against it, okay? So you can push your butt back in there and then roll up through the back. Okay, so to start out, some of us may not be able to lower down to a 90-degree angle at the knees, and that is okay. What I would like is for you to go as far down, meaning close to 90 degrees as possible for you today. This isn't a competition. If it feels okay in your body, then go ahead and go a little bit lower. If not, stay within that range of comfort. I don't mean comfort as in easy, I mean comfort as in the distinction between ouch, this is painful because it's not something that's good for my body right now versus ouch, that's painful because my muscle is working, okay? So we have our feet planted, right? Next we want to sink down if that's available to you. Ideally, what the goal is to have 90-degree angles from our ankle and the floor to our knees and hips. What we want to pay attention to is that our ankles, knees, and hips are in one line. Now, we want to go ahead and pull our belly buttons into the spine, so think in and up, and push the low back against the wall. So we want to make sure that we have contact with the wall throughout the torso. This is going to help us stay stable and make it a tiny bit easier to maintain the position for a little bit longer of a time. Now, we have some options here for arms. Well, actually, you know what? We're gonna start this together, and then as we're doing our time, I'll tell you some options. So, get into this position, okay? Making sure our ankles, knees, hips are in alignment. Your lower back is pushing into the wall, so your core is engaged. And we're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. So, starting now. Okay, so with our arms, we have options. You can do bicep curls with or without weights. That's up to you to try to distract your mind from what's going on with your legs here. You can do some shoulder raises, basically whatever is helpful for you. You can have your hands here in prayer position saying, please help us go faster. We have 5 seconds remaining, then we can stand up for a break. So basically you can add arms if that helps. So now pushing through the heels can help you stand up. We're gonna do this 2 more times, so 3 times total. And we're gonna sink back down because we're starting in 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so again, our weight is distributed through our heels. We're pushing into the wall, so the core is tight. I want you to make sure that your knees are not caving in, so think about pushing them open so that they stay in a nice line with the hips. And of course, we want to breathe right into the nose. If this is really challenging, just blow that challenge away out through your mouth. 3, 2, 1. All right, beautiful. Push through the heels. Mini break here. We have 10 seconds, then we'll do this 1 more time. So again, this is something that we can do. So lowering back down, we have 3 seconds left. Pushing into the wall through the back, engage the core. This is an exercise you can do to break up the workday. It's very low intensity, you don't need any equipment, but it's working your body, right? So if this is too easy for you, if it's not challenging enough, make sure that you're really hitting that 90 degree and or hold it for longer. 30 seconds is just a great place to start, 20, 30 seconds if you've never done this before. If this is easy for you, then go for much longer, like a minute or a minute and a half. Just, you know, go ahead, push through the heels, come up. Just do what you need to do to get the most out of it. So this is our exercise number 1 of wall sits. Again, something simple. You can do literally anywhere as long as you have a wall. If you don't have a lot of wall space, if you have just like a ledge, you can go ahead and go up against the ledge too. Like, same thing, it works just as well. Okay, so please do this. You know, I would say at least 30 seconds 3 times just to make it worth your while. And then challenge yourself to increase the time as you get stronger. All right, next we're going to do some standing glute work. So this comes to us from Ballet Barre Fitness. So I want you to go ahead, we're going to start with our feet and legs together, just zip them up, okay? I want you to think about pulling your belly button into the spine and up, and you have a proud chest, shoulders are down the back. So think about having your ears, shoulders, and hips all in one straight line, okay? So next, let's squeeze your cheeks, squeeze your butt cheeks, and let your feet open up to a natural V position, okay? So we're not trying to be like 180. Whatever feels comfortable is where we want it to go. It can be like this small or wider, whatever works for your body, okay? Next, we're going to shift our weight to our right leg. Well, it may be left for you if you're mirroring me. Okay, so before we do anything, we want to make sure that we are actively pushing through the hips. We're not dropping in here, we're pushing. It's an active movement right here, okay? We're not even moving yet, but we're working already, so good job. Okay, so next, our active leg, so my left, is going to come behind the right. So I have my toes on the ground, my left heel is behind my right calf, and I have my knee pointing out to the side. So this is the position that we're starting in. I'm going to turn to the side so you can actually see the movement a little bit better, okay? And for this, you can, if you need something to help you with balance, because this is a very balance demanding move, hold onto a chair, hold onto the wall, hold onto your desk, something that will help you from losing your balance if that is something that you're working on right now. Okay, so again, starting in our V position, your working leg is behind the standing leg, okay? So we have our heel behind that calf. Now, making sure that our knee is pointing out to the side the whole time, we're going to move from the hip. That's where the movement comes from. The knee doesn't move, okay? So it's probably going to be a small movement. We're going to lift that leg behind and lowering it down. So I'm not moving my knee at all. I'm just lifting from the hip. And in doing this, I'm activating my left glute here. Okay, you can point your toes of that lifted leg and making sure we're pulling that belly button in and up and keeping our shoulders down the back. Okay, we're going to do 4 more of these and then we're going to hold it. So 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're holding it here. Making sure that our knee isn't coming in, keeping that out to the side so that we're feeling it here in the glute. Now, balance challenge for you. Take your hand off of whatever you're holding on to. Put them out here like a real ballerina, right? Pushing through that front or the standing leg, belly button in and up, and breathing. Okay, go ahead. If you need to hold on to something, you can place your hand back down. We're now going to pulse the leg back. So making sure that the movement's coming here from the hip. We're just going to lift up, up, up. So small pulses, really squeezing the glute with each one. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more, 3, 1, hold. Okay, next we're going to move that leg in, across, and behind us. So I'm moving the leg towards the wall behind me. So I'm going to cross behind and come back. Behind and come back. So this is not a big movement, but you're going to be feeling it in your glute, your hamstring, and probably a little bit in your inner thighs. So we're still keeping that knee out to the side. And we're gonna do 4 more. Last 3, 2, 1. Okay, you can bring that back down and we're just gonna lift for 8 more, then we're done with this side. So lifting for 8. Last 5, 3, squeeze. Last one here. Okay, let it go. So, one side done. Now, let's do the other side. So again, if you want to start with your feet and legs together, zip those up, making sure we're in a good alignment before we take any movement. Okay, so belly button pulling in and up, shoulders are proud. So tuck those shoulder blades into your back pocket. Ears, shoulders, hips are in alignment. Okay, we're going to open the feet up to a V position, whatever feels comfortable and natural for you. Then shifting our weight to the opposite leg, so my left leg this time. Before I even take any movement, I'm pushing through the heel, so I'm pulling up out of that hip. So it's active already. Then I'm going to lift my right foot and place it behind the left. So my right heel is behind the left calf, and my knee here is pointing out to the side. So just as before, I'm going to turn so that you can see from the side, you can see the movement of the leg. All right, so just like before, we're going to lift and lower coming from the hip. So again, this isn't going to be a huge range of motion. If you're standing straight up, it's a lot harder to get a higher lift, and that's fine. We're not going for height, we're just going for sensation here. Like, are you feeling this in your glute? Think about squeezing as you get to the top and making sure that we're keeping our belly button in and up. The shoulders are back, and then the knee is staying out to the side. So do 4 more. Last 2. Last one, holding it here, balance challenge. Take your hand off the wall, chair, desk, whatever you're using. If you want to be a ballerina, hold your hands up in your first position. Okay, hand back to your aid, and we're going to pulse that leg up. So just small pulses, squeezing the glute, pushing out of that standing leg. We'll do 8 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. We're going to cross that leg behind us. So cross behind and back out. So you're feeling this definitely in the glutes and the hamstrings and a little bit on the inner thighs. Breathing, please. We'll do 4 more here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, lower the leg back down. And we're lifting up just normally straight behind for 8. Keeping the knee pointing out. Squeezing the bun. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so you're probably feeling a little bit, depending on if you have tight hips, like here in the front, the standing leg may be talking to you a little bit. So we're working the back and the front, so that's a double win, right? So let's go ahead and give the hips a little bit of release right now. So you can do this standing with the aid of a wall, or if you're like, no, my balance is great, I need lessons from you, but if that's the case, go ahead and cross your right ankle over your left knee. We're going to push our butt back like you're sitting in a chair, and you're going to feel a bit of a stretch on the outside of the hip there and the glutes. This can be done seated in a chair as well. You'll just be seated on the edge of the chair. Breathing, please. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, so when you're satisfied, go ahead, switch to the other side. So left ankle over the right knee, pushing your hips back. And just so you know, I'm giving a light pressure on my knee here. If that feels comfortable for you, if that's a nice release, you can do that. If that's too much, don't do it all. You can just rest your hand or not touch your knee at all. Okay, so again, reminder, keep breathing, please. Okay, you can come up out of that. So, the attitude leg lifts are really, really good to break up your day because we spend a lot of time sitting at our desks. Even if we have standing desks, that doesn't mean we're using them. So, and also if we are using a standing desk, that's great, but you still may need a little something to get your blood moving and feeling a little more alert. So this is a really wonderful way to do that. It's easy, you don't need any equipment, and it's very low intensity. All right, gang, our last move is wall angels. We will go through 3 different options, so depending on how your body's feeling, one may be better than the other, so you'll know all of them and you'll be able to choose what is best for you in the moment. So first, we're going to be using the wall. So go ahead and you're going to stand probably, I don't know, 5-6 inches away from the wall. That's where your feet will be positioned. Go ahead and lower yourself against it. You're going to have your knees bent slightly. And with this, we're also going to, just like with the wall sits, we want to push our low back into the wall. So if you're having trouble with your knees straight, it's a little harder, I guess. You can bend a little bit to make sure you can push the low back into the wall, so that's automatically engaging your core here. To start out, we're going to go ahead and have our arms in a Y position. We're going to think about pulling our shoulders, make sure our shoulders are not up by our ears, pull them down in your back pocket. So we're going to think about squeezing our shoulder blades together in this move. So we're just going to bend at the elbows, bringing our elbows slowly down towards our sides, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then we're going to go back right up the way we came. So this is really simple, but it's targeting your back. This helps a lot when it comes to posture, especially if we're sitting at our desk. Even when we're standing, we don't always have good posture. So this is going to be something that can help negate the bad habits that we adopt sometimes. Okay, so this is our option 1 of the wall angels. Option 2 will be wall-less angels. Exactly the same motion, sans wall, right? So let's go ahead. We can start with your hips, with your feet hip distance apart, or whatever is most comfortable for you. Just have a gentle bend in your knees and go ahead and engage your core, pulling the belly button in and up. So again, we'll start with our arms up in a Y position. Our shoulders are down the back, and we're just going to bend at our elbows, lowering our elbows towards our torso as we squeeze the shoulder blades together. Once we get to this W shape, we're going to go back up, still squeezing and keeping the shoulders down. Okay, so making sure we're pulling our core in here to ensure we're not arching our back. So we don't want to put any extra strain on our back here. We'll do one more, then we'll go to variation number 3. Squeezing, squeezing. Keeping shoulder blades together and the shoulders down here. Okay, alright, so our third variation of the wall angels is basically starting out exactly as the other 2, but we're going to do some rotation of our hands, and the elbows are going to draw back behind us. So we'll start with our arms up, shoulders down, away from our ears. We're opening up into that Y position, and then once we get here, we're going to start bending at the elbows, squeezing the shoulder blades together as we're painting our hands down a wall. Once we get down here, we're kind of just going to flip our palms behind us and extend the arms behind. So we're squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting up the arms slightly, so we're really feeling engagement in that middle back. Then we can go ahead and kind of rotate so palms are facing up, still squeezing the shoulders together as we extend the arms up and overhead. And we're going to go back down, so into our Y, then we start bending at the elbows, shoulder blades come back, we're painting down, and then we're rotating palms away from us, and then lifting the arms behind us, squeezing, okay, coming back, rotating the palms away, always squeezing the shoulder blades together and keeping the shoulders down. We'll do one more here. Okay, pulling the elbows back now as we rotate down, palms face behind us, and then we're shoulders down, lifting slightly. Good. We're going to lower a little bit, rotate the hands out, palms away, still squeezing the shoulders together as we lift back up and straighten the arms. All right, so I'm sure you're feeling some warmth, heat in the back after that. So what we can do as a nice little stretch to counter that and make sure that you're not feeling super tight, so you're going to stretch the back. So I want you to go ahead and interlace your fingers. We're going to flip it so palms are facing away. Belly button pulling into the spine. You're going to push and round your back. So we're starting here. We're going to round the back, You can tuck your chin to your chest. Take 1 or 2 breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And let's roll up your spine. So that's a nice counter stretch for the moves that we were just doing to work the back. And again, the back is so important to make sure that it's strong and that it can support our posture and keep us from, you know, rounding forward like we do often when we're sitting at the desk or in the car or on the couch or wherever it is. So it's really, really a good practice to do these kinds of exercises to help us maintain a good, healthy posture and help us keep our height, right? Otherwise, we end up shrinking down. So nice, beautiful posture. And go ahead and try all of these exercises during your workday. Honestly, if you start feeling crabby for some reason, that's probably a great opportunity for you to take 2-3 minutes and do a couple of these moves and see if it changes your attitude. So go ahead and try these out. I hope you enjoy them. If any comments or questions, please do let me know.